Listen,
and
dear
the
readers.
readers.
There's one reason Katie doesn't like this, because the villain is a cat.
That's not
and
true.
Tarzan
that is not true.
aces that thing.
Aces that
with
thing.
like
The
a
villain
bone
is
knife.
Clayton.
Just he goes down the hole. The leopard goes down the hole. Only Tarzan gets out of the hole. If you subscribe.
What's up, people? Welcome back to another episode of Stars and Garters. I'm Katie Pettit, and back with me again on the podcast is our fan favorite guest, my dad. So, if you will recall, the last Random FANDOM Friday episode I did was a rare hate video of sorts, because I was just telling you guys about the very short list of movies that I will never watch again, and why. And my dad listened to this episode, and he did not agree.
With your language.
He often doesn't agree with me, but on this subject, he felt that he needed to respond to my claims, to my opinions that I stated on that episode. So, as I am respectful and gracious, I have decided to let him do that.
I didn't know he lied on podcasts.
On the podcast today.
That's new.
So, yeah, I'll just remind you guys briefly of the movies that were on my list and why I decided not to watch them again, and then he will respond. So, the very first movie, it was in categories, if you'll remember, movies I just don't like as movies, and movies that are too sad for me to watch. So, in the first of the category of just being bad, in my opinion, was the movie Big Trouble in Little China. As I remember it, it was very weird and confusing. The plot did not make sense, and I didn't understand anything that was going on. Terribly hard to follow, and not even ironically funny. So, this one, I was not expecting him to disagree as fervently as he does, but he does. So, take it away.
Yeah, it's not that I disagree. I think that anyone who doesn't like Big Trouble in Little China should just die.
Hey.
Is that too much? That's too far.
Well,
okay. They should be deported.
I'm not
to a woman-hating country.
What?
Looking at you, Iran.
What? What are you even saying
that's too far.
Right now?
If you don't like Big Trouble in Little China, you're not smart. And that's fine.
That's okay.
Because there are dumb people in the world. So, high five.
No, I'm done.
Okay. And,
we can high five for that, though.
No, look, here's the deal. You were tired when you watched it.
I was, okay.
I think it was during COVID.
No, it was definitely not.
So,
I was like 12.
Yeah, you were 12. Your sense of humor was not fully developed yet. So I
found Happy Gilmore funny.
Everybody finds Happy Gilmore funny.
It's not true.
I guarantee you, upon rewatch, you will see the nuance. That's the key word. Say it. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Chicken
nuance.
Nuggets.
No. I'll walk off this podcast right now.
Say nuance.
Nuance is the word that you need to understand. Because you have, at his peak, Kurt Russell, who is an American treasure.
Who is that?
Kurt Russell, just one of the greatest actors of all time.
Name something I would know him from.
He was Wyatt Earp in Tombstone.
Oh, Zeus, right?
No, he was Ego, the Living Planet.
Ego. I didn't know that was him.
Yeah.
I don't care.
He's a truck driver, just trying to make his way through life. An 18-wheeler driver. Do you not respect 18-wheeler drivers?
Not when they're that dumb.
Wow. He wasn't dumb. He saved the world.
Yeah.
From evil
with
Chinese
redneck
demigods.
Karate.
With redneck karate. What are you trying to dissuade me with redneck karate?
Yes.
There's a scene in the movie, in the very first, where someone throws a bottle at him and he catches it without flinching. And he says, reflexes. And that is both foreshadowing and reshadowing of his greatness.
What is reshadowing?
It's amazing. You need to see it. A lot of young actors in there, a lot of culture. You celebrate other cultures. Okay. If you like Mortal Kombat.
No. No.
Raiden got his start in Big Trouble in Little China. Also, really like movies whose title kind of helps. So, like, if I told you, hey, this movie is about trouble in Little Chinatown, and it's large trouble in Little Chinatown, you would say, okay, I know the plot, and that's the plot.
Now you don't need to go watch the
Now,
movie.
the reason you didn't like it is because, again, you were immature at the time. You didn't understand nuance. And you got scared because there's a monster in it.
I was not scared. I was too confused to be scared.
Okay.
Like, I was utterly
Well,
baffled.
I assure you that if the Lord gives me 20 more years of life, I'll be rewatching it. So
you have fun. So, there's that one. The next one, he also
put that in the disagreement column.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know we were having columns.
That's because you don't do show notes or prep.
What? I do prep.
Okay.
I have 36 pages of prep on my Google Docs that I can show you. I prep for you guys. Don't listen to him. So, my next one, for just being bad and me just not liking it as a movie, was the movie Shallow Hal. I found it to be a quite shallow movie. Because I thought they tried to talk about, self-image and worth and like it's like, oh, on the inside is beautiful. But they clearly were sending the message that Gwyneth Paltrow is beautiful, and that is what your inside should look like, and also your outside.
Why do you hate Gwyneth Paltrow?
I'm not. I'm saying she's clearly very attractive compared to the general public.
I don't agree with that.
Well, I mean, like, conventionally, she's tall, thin, and blonde.
That's what you think.
What?
I mean, that's just your business. Like, you think that's attractive.
That is conventionally attractive.
I'm not attracted to Gwyneth Paltrow.
Okay. But I'm just saying, she's a conventionally attractive woman, and it's showing that is still attractive. Because, to be a beautiful inside, it has to look thin, tall, and blonde. So
I'm curious, before I just tell you where you're wrong, what do you think beauty on the inside looks like?
I don't think it needs
Harley Quinn?
No. I don't think it needs to look like anything. It's you don't need to personify it, because that just implies that there is, that there's a standard of beauty.
But it's not just that it was personified into something you hate.
What do I hate?
Tall, thin blondes.
I don't hate tall, thin blondes. What?
Name one tall, thin blonde you like.
My friends?
Besides Judah.
He's not tall. So, sorry, Judah.
I think he's a good height.
He is a good height. I'm saying he's not tall.
Yeah.
Anyway, no offense, Judah. What was I talking about?
See? Anyway, look, you missed the point once again. You're so over-analytical, which you get that honest, That's not a bad thing, I guess. But Shallow Hal is directed by the Farrelly brothers, who directed Dumb and Dumber. So if you're going to Dumb and Dumber for, societal impact and commentary,
but you don't
that's your fault.
You really don't think they were trying to say anything?
Nope. I think they got Jack Black at the peak of his powers. Okay. At his best.
School of Rock was his best, but okay.
Okay, that's debatable. But they got Jack Black, and they said, let's build a movie. Funny concept. This guy is way too shallow. What happens if this shallowness gets taken away? What lesson would he learn? I mean, it's deeper than Dumb and Dumber, I'll give you that, but not much deep.
You really don't think they were trying to prove anything? You
think the Farrelly brothers said, let's change society with a movie?
I don't care who the director is, but you don't think there was any,
I truly don't. They make dumb comedies.
What?
It's a dumb comedy. Did Happy Gilmore change how you feel about golf?
No, that wasn't the point.
What's the point of Happy Gilmore?
It's a dumb comedy.
Oh, how about that?
I'm saying this did not, it was not...
It offended you and your sensibilities, so you say it's the worst ever, and then you try to add all this stuff on it, like how dare them do social commentary. They were doing social commentary.
Are you sure, though?
Absolutely, I'm sure. They're too dumb to do social commentary.
Okay.
They have to be smart. If you made a movie,
I might think... You don't think they were trying?
I truly don't. I don't think the person who wrote that skit...
Skit.
Or script said, "Hey, let's do social commentary." Because if you see a poster with only Jack Black on the cover, do you think social commentary?
Well, no. But what is a poster?
What if you see Jack Black on the cover with a fat silhouette? What do you think?
That looks like it's trying to prove something.
Yeah, he's got a problem. His best friend in it has a tail that wags.
Yes, it's a comedy. It's a comedy movie.
Again,
you truly don't think it was trying to be anything more?
I really don't.
Well, I
and it's
do.
hilarious.
It's not.
When she orders the double pizza burger, and he's like, "I'll take the same thing."
Right.
I've had a pizza burger.
Okay. So I guess this goes in the disagree column.
Yeah. You just took you took it as a shot at you. That's why I think the David series on Amazon is dumb, because I take it as a shot at me.
Okay, so if you take that as a shot, though,
Literally
you can
just talked to someone on Sunday. Was like, "I like it." I was like, "You're stupid."
Dang. But you could see why you, as a man, watching something. No, I'm just saying, you see how you, as a man, watching something that kind of puts men down, makes you feel bad, right?
Doesn't make me feel bad at all.
Then why don't you what are the reasons you have for not liking it?
It's stupid.
Why is it stupid?
You would have swayed me more if you'd have said Shallow Hal Stupid is too dumb for me.
No, because I like dumb comedies. Those are my kind of movies, but I saw it as something more. I'd been like, all right, cool,
but you had to pull the, I remember hurting women. Like, how many women do you actually think saw that movie besides you? 2?
Exactly.
Yeah. That wasn't their audience.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, anyway. Moving on. The next one is a movie he hasn't seen, I don't think. So I guess we're not going to get too much disagreement.
Oh, I have an opinion.
Okay. Well, the next one was the movie My Fair Lady, which I hated because it went really well for basically the whole movie, and in the last 2 minutes it had the main character go back to an emotionally abusive partner for no reason and no character growth on the partner's part. So,
and based on your description, I will never watch it. Moving on.
Oh, that was your opinion?
No.
Okay. Cool. So, guess we're moving on then. So that was the last one that I didn't like because I thought it was bad. The next one, I will never watch them again because they're too sad, and I said that it's like, not that I don't think they're good movies, like not that I don't like them as a movie, but that they are not quite good enough for me to endure the sad parts in order to get to the good parts. So, the first one on my list was My Girl. I don't think I really need to explain why My Girl is sad, because if you don't know, you haven't seen it.
Just listen to the episode.
And you need to see it. So, and also listen to the episode as well. But I spoil it, so you should probably do both.
My turn?
Yep.
I'd watch My Girl again. It is very sad, but I have no problem with sad movies. I think to shy away from sad movies is to deny part of the human condition. In which case, you need to experience sadness, and you need to analyze how that makes you feel and what that makes you think about. So when I was a child and I watched My Girl, it made me sad because he was a nice kid who was trying his best and loved his friend, and it was a special time in his life, and he died, and that makes you sad. As a 42-year-old man, you look at it from a father's eyes, and you think, man, that was somebody's kid, and now they don't have their little boy with them, and that makes you sad. And these are good things to think about. I think running away from sad movies tells you more about yourself and what you're scared of than actually disliking the movie. Mm-hmm. Also, if there's a Dan Aykroyd movie, I'm watching it.
Dan Aykroyd is great in that movie. Jamie Lee Curtis is also great in that movie. Yeah. And so is Macaulay Culkin. Like, it's a good movie.
What's my number one movie of all time?
Happy Gilmore?
Try harder.
Braveheart, sorry.
Braveheart. What happens at the end of Braveheart?
He dies.
I mean, this is the man's manest of hero who was fighting for the love of his life, and he gets disemboweled at the end. And I tear up, right? But you watch it because it's part of the human condition.
Because it's like he kind of dies in a really epic way, and it's like it's sad.
So Macaulay didn't die hard enough for you?
That's not what I'm saying.
Go harder, Macaulay.
Look, okay.
Fight those bees.
I think that
Sting like a bee, Macaulay.
what? Okay. I think that if you want to experience sadness, just like live life, and I don't need any more from movies. So,
No.
and when you experience it in life, you can hide it from other people, from your friends. When you watch a movie with them,
So anyway,
it's harder.
Another good thing about biblical counseling is that you should get it.
I'm in church therapy, guys. So,
all right.
Next one. The 2 Disney movies that I have written off because of the sadness. The first one was Up, I believe, because the whole miscarriage, sad, depressing music. First 5 minutes just throws me off the whole movie. So.
And as I told you, I've never seen Up all the way through. It's one of the few Pixar movies I didn't give time to. I know the pop culture about it. I know basic things about it. Seems fine to me. But personally, that was when Pixar started a little downward trend. They were trying a little too hard in a few parts, so I don't have to see it. But again, I think the same thing applies. I think you run away from the sadness. You don't like the way the sadness makes you feel, which is really strange because Lion King, your number one of all time, has a dead father scene that would break anyone's heart, mine included, and you welcome that.
Well,
and
see, The Lion King is a good enough movie to me on its own with the rest of it to get through the sad parts. Okay. So. The next one is Tarzan, because again, it starts out in the beginning with the baby gorilla and the readers.
There's one reason Katie doesn't like this, because the villain is a cat.
That's not
true.
And
Tarzan aces that thing.
The villain is Clayton.
Just he goes down the hole, the leopard goes down the hole. Only Tarzan gets out of the hole, if you know what I'm saying. So, once Katie saw that cat violence, she's like, I'm out.
No.
Cat on cat violence. It's not
Tarzan's
right.
not a cat.
Oh, he's a cat.
Oh my
He's a real hip cat.
No.
Have you seen how that man swings on trees? He's hip. He's a cat. He's sliding with his toes on them branches. Girl couldn't even take it. Girl saw him just swooning. What is this man? Woo! Got his shirt off and everything. Yeah, Tarzan. He's the man.
So... It's about the...
Also, great soundtrack.
It is an amazing soundtrack.
Phil Collins.
But I also associate most of the songs I can't listen to without getting sad. Because I associate the songs with the scenes.
Do you live your whole life trying not to get sad?
Yes.
I am staunchly against happy pills, right?
I don't take happy pills.
I'm just saying. I don't want to hear this one day. I have to take my Prozac so I can watch a movie. Prozac is not a sponsor of this podcast.
Okay, it has nothing to do with the cat. It's about the baby gorilla and Tarzan's parents being murdered in the first 5 minutes.
Such good music, though, man.
It is great music. Again, I don't think it's a bad movie.
Here's what I worry about. You can't turn sadness into hope.
What?
Tarzan is a movie full of hope. The boy lives. It's Harry Potter. The boy lives.
Harry Potter.
Right? He's a wizard on them vines, y'all.
No.
So, sadness to hope. My girl is harder, admittedly. But the hope is in the end. She's coming out, she's getting out of her hypochondriac. She's loving her dad more. She's got this mother figure. What's her name in the movie?
Jamie Lee Curtis?
No, the girl.
Vada?
Yeah. Vita?
Vlada?
It's a V. Vita.
I think it's Vada.
Anyway, there's hope there, and I think that's what you got to get. You got to get the sad for the hope, man. Because that's a movie. That's the waxing and waning of a movie. Like, even Happy Gilmore has some sad. His dad dies. You don't care.
Sorry.
Yeah. And my mom moved to Egypt, where there's not a hockey rink for 100 million miles.
Yep.
Anyway, so that was the list?
No. But the last one I don't think you have much opinion on, because the last one's Les Mis, which is just entirely depressing.
No, I have an opinion.
Okay. Well, it's just entirely depressing throughout the entire movie with no hope.
First time I ever watched Les Mis was the Hugh Jackman version. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah,
That
that's
dude
the one.
ripped to shred. No, there's many more Les Mis.
But that's the one.
No, I'm
That's
sure it's not.
one.
I'm
The
sure
ones
if you
Anne
Google it,
Hathaway,
yeah, I'm sure if you Google it, there have
Eddie
been many
Redmayne.
long before that one.
I'm
Anyway,
oh, Amanda Seyfried?
first thing you see is that Hugh Jackman is ripped to shreds.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me his
When he's
voice.
pulling the ropes at the beginning, whew, man, that dude put some work in.
His face looks awful, though. At the beginning.
That's the point. He's tortured.
Yes, yeah.
But the second thing, when I stopped watching it, because I was watching it with your Uncle James.
He loves that
and
movie,
it's his
doesn't he?
number one movie musical of all time. And I was like, all right, I'm trying to get it. And when it like just shows the sequence of her selling her hair and her teeth and her body, don't do that. Boys are evil. You know, I was just like, this is too much. Like, I can't handle this. I have a daughter.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, that one I agree. And this is my fault because isn't there redemption at the end of that movie?
Well, the dude, Hugh Jackman dies.
Okay.
Literally, the only character that get a happy ending is
the boy, the kid, right?
The kid. So Anne Hathaway's daughter that she sells herself for.
Right.
And a French kid who's like the only one who survived the revolution. They end up together.
Nice.
But it's still too sad.
Well, yeah. So bonus.
Oh.
Bonus. 2 movies that I will never watch again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Proof that I can be as cynical and pessimistic and world hating as you.
Yep.
Number 1 of all time. It's been there for a while.
Number 1, never watched?
Never watched again. Only watched 30 minutes of it. You know the answer to this. What's the only movie I've ever turned off ever in my life? One movie. 42 years. I am a movie person. I have watched almost every movie ever. One movie I've turned off my whole life. You don't remember this one?
I don't know. The only one I remember is Ferris Bueller because Mom said we couldn't watch it.
No, Ferris Bueller's awesome.
Okay.
Go watch Ferris Bueller. It's a wonderful coming-of-age film. Aragon, man.
Oh! Because you... Okay.
I've never seen a movie butcher a book like they did in the first 30 minutes. I don't even know what happens after the first 30 minutes because they did so much wrong with such good content. Go read the book Aragon by Christopher Paolini. If you like dragons, if you like huge fantasy worlds, if you like good villains and good stories with twists and turns. But I'll give you, for instance, just right off the top. In the book, it's, man, you're 30% through the book before the egg even cracks that Sapphira the dragon comes out of. In the movie, he finds the egg. This is all, I think it's 2 minutes. He finds the egg. I don't know what this is. She pops out and says, I'm your dragon, Aragon. This never happens. And then she flies towards the clouds, goes through a cloud, and is full grown. It's the dumbest sequence compared to the book ever. So Aragon, will never watch again. I mean, it would take you, Katie, saying, Dad, please sit down and watch this with me. And it would be like a bargaining exercise where I'd be like, all right, you don't speak to a boy for 5 years. But, yeah, so Aragon, number 1 of all time. Of all time.
That I get. I get that one.
Yeah. Number 2, surprise entry. Surprise entry. Incredibles 2.
Aww.
Incredibles 2. Yeah. Let's just talk about it.
Give it a
Incredibles
chance.
1 is... It's my favorite Pixar movie, right?
It's mine as well.
Yeah, gotta be. I mean, just genius take on everything.
So good.
Genius take on superheroes. Genius take on that era, like 50s, 60s. Genius take on marriage. If you read it, when you get married, you understand it. The mom protecting the kids. The kids having to develop, like, you know, hey, Mom needs you to do this. We need you.
One of my favorite scenes, though, is when she is like, the robot is attacking and they're both getting out and she's trying to go. And he's like, don't go. And she's like, hey, like, we do this together. And she's like, she's thinking that he's trying to put her down, but then he says, I can't lose you. And then instead of like continuing to, like, I guess get onto him like they might do today, she goes, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's family, man. Yeah. It's a family movie. And when they just ruined it in part 2, like, I was looking forward to Incredibles 2 hard. I think I took y'all.
We went to see it.
And I just remember just being so disappointed because where it was in the timeline was at the real close beginning to super woke, all men are stupid, All Men.
You mean in the actual real life?
In the real world,
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And so what came out was, instead of, all they had to do was the same movie twice. All they had to do. But what they do is they make Mr. Incredible dumb, and dumber. And then Miss Incredible, becomes the absolute superhero that can own, the only one that can fix things. And I wouldn't even have a problem with that, right? Switch the roles, right? All right, now she's the one doing the stuff and he has to play catch up. But they never do. They never have that moment where there's the joining, like, hey, we're together on this. It's just, you're dumb and, women are the only ones who can fix the world. And it's like, well, that's great. Thanks for that message. They don't continue Jack at all. They leave the two kids just like floundering. Like, develop them, man. Bring them up. They should be 2 years older at least. Yeah, never watched again. Won't watch it again. Just really, that was the first movie where I was just like, they ruined a whole movie. Back to your Shallow Hal point. They ruined a whole movie trying to get a point across. That's never going to, like, nobody goes to Incredibles 2 going, man, I really hope this is a good discussion on male-female dynamics in the world. Like, yes. I want to see a family superhero movie. That's what I want to see.
Yes.
So, yeah, never again.
I don't know. Those are all good points, like, in the context of Incredibles 1. When I watch it less thinking about how
that's what they tell you to do.
The first one was, it's not a horrible movie for me, but yes, everything you're saying.
To be fair, if I said watch Shallow Hal without bringing what you bring to the table, you can't do it, right?
Well, yeah.
Like, you're going to bring your thoughts and you're going to be like, all right, this is not cool.
Yes.
I can't, I watched that one. I'm like, all right.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
So anyway, we agree on that.
Yes, we do.
Now, bonus.
Oh, no.
Bonus. Ruining movies, trying to get a message across. Is there a movie you can think of that was trying to get a message across, but you didn't care, you just still liked it?
Okay.
Just something to think about for later. You don't have to do it now. I can't think of one. Because if a movie's preaching at me, like the reason I didn't like the Captain America limited series,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
It's preaching, man. Like, I have no problem with Sam Wilson, no problem with Winter Soldier, but when the main villain is a politician and you tell him to do better, you give a speech, there's no giant robot fight. I mean, come on, man.
So, I guess like that could be one for me. I didn't mind. The action was really good, and I thought it did a good passing of the torch kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. I didn't.
But like, remember, I don't know if you remember this, but like one of the villains was like trying to feed orphans and hungry people, and it's like, wait, are they the villain? Yeah. Or you're mixing messages so much.
Yeah.
Because that's another bad thing with movies, and I'll stop. I know we've talked too long. But I don't like it when you don't have a clear villain, when everybody's a hero.
Yeah.
Even a villain.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but still in the world there's evil.
Yeah.
And I like it when evil falls.
Yeah.
All joking aside, I'm fine with, I like Big Trouble in Little China. But in Big Trouble in Little China, you have the good guys and you have the bad guys, and the good guys win. It's just, it's a simple formula. Incredibles, was it Syndrome?
Mm-hmm.
There is no redemption for Syndrome, right? He was evil.
There's, a villain with a reason for why they're a villain has depth, but they take it too far.
But you can't have it both ways. If you're going to redeem them.
Yeah.
But even then, you still have to have another villain.
Yeah.
So if you've got hero, villain who changes, there still needs to be, but this is what we have to fight against.
Yeah.
And politics is not the answer, right? Like, we should join forces and vote. I'm not watching that movie.
Sure.
And if somebody likes, no big deal. I'm watching Daredevil. And you know what happened in episode 2? Matt's been retired for a year.
Oh.
And some bad people are trying to hurt someone, so he stops them. You would love the scene. Like, he tells the guy to get out of the house, and he opens the door, and he's just sitting there with this grin on his face. And the guys are like, where's the guy? And he's like, sorry, he's not here. And they're like, have you seen him? And Matt just smiles bigger because it's Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
And so then they beat him up, and Matt takes a beating like nobody else. But then they put a gun to his head, and he's like, please don't do this. And they're like, saying we're going to do it. He's like, you don't understand. Please don't do this. And it's so layered because they think he's saying, don't kill me. He's not saying don't kill me. He's saying, if you get your finger close to that trigger, I'm going to become Daredevil and you're going to die.
Yeah.
And so they go to pull the trigger and Matt loses it on them. And I'm pretty sure he kills them both. Don't know. Haven't seen episode 3. But the end is him standing over their bodies and he just lets out this guttural scream because he knows he's back. He knows that he's gone back to the rage that was inside him. It's just so many layers, dude.
I didn't know that was Daredevil. I never saw the first one, so
yeah, it's a really good series, man. It really gets the character right as far as this tortured soul who wants to do things by the book, wants to be a lawyer, you let the system take care of justice, but is also fed up with the system and has the power to take justice into his own hands and deal it out as he sees fit. But he fights so hard against that, but then the world forces him to. Anyway, we got off track. I love that you have strong opinions on movies, even though they're wrong. I love that you don't like My Fair Lady, because if it is anything like you described it to me, you are absolutely 100% correct in hating it. Embrace a little sadness. It's okay to have a sad day, right?
No, it's not.
Embrace killing Chinese demigods.
Okay. So, that's all. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and share and do the things. Subscribe and comment. Tell us if you can't stand any movies. So.
Or if there's a movie you can't stand, but it's so good you still watch it.
Facts. So, see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Subscribe.